Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Just my computer just a little bit. Okay. So for Bhagavad Gita, we're going to do the verse 14 and 15. It's a little bit one of those verses that you can go very deep into it, and I'll try my best to explain it because it has two different levels of understanding in this one. So
you have the recording on now?
Yeah, I did. Recording is on. Thank you, Joe. So it's just to get the background of this whole Yagna spirit and all that. So where it's coming from. So we have a broader picture because the most important thing is after we finish, we have to remember to move forward. And the other thing I wanted to say in Bhagavad Gita, slowly he's revealing all the secrets, how the world functions and everything. He's not giving an entire dose suddenly. So that's why I'm saying we all have to have a little bit of patience. I think the first thing we have to do is everybody check their mute and unmute because some noises are coming. So, but everybody has to be on mute right now. Maybe Meeraji can see who is not, so I can concentrate on this one.
Manju, secret.
Yeah.
You need to mute yourself, Manju.
The thing is showing mute. So do I get that red this thing of unmute?
Press that mute button. Now you are muted. Manju, you are muted now.
Okay. So it's going to reveal slowly everything. So we have to have a little patience. Sometimes we might have questions. They might get answered now. And I can guarantee you that by the end of Bhagavad Gita, all the questions will be answered. So just have a little patience. But we'll do our best. Okay? And so what is the context here about karma? That Krishna Bhagavan, remember, said earlier, without karma, we cannot function. Means as long as we are alive, we have to do something. Okay? So, but he's also said that if you have to do something, now the question is, how should I do it? Then you do it in Yagna Bhavna. And we have went in detail what that Yagna Bhavna is. एक होता है ordinary कर्म, जिसमें हम थोड़ा selfish हो जाते हैं, अपने बारे में ज़्यादा सोचते हैं. और Yagna Bhavna is when you dedicate it to a higher altar and you do some sacrifice. Some people do it spontaneously, they don't need to think, but if you want to go on the spiritual path, we got to reflect and see where we are. And then what happens if you don't do the karma? Mind gets impure. As simple as that. And that is called sin. And then you get away from God. And that's not our goal. That, we are trying to move towards it. So, and then Krishna Bhagavan also explained why we need to do in Yagna spirit. Because the world was created like that. When the world was created, the Yagna spirit is inherent in it. And then we saw that how the nature works, all the 5 elements work. And then he also promised that if you work in cooperative endeavors, you will get all your desires, good desires fulfilled. Good, bad, whatever. He just said desires will be fulfilled. Now it's up to us what kind of desires we want to fulfill. Because then we saw that how Swamiji talked about the productive potential in different things in this world, that when we work in cooperation, that productive potential comes out. And then he also said, if you don't do this, help in that cooperative endeavor, if you don't give your yogdan, जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं, उन्होंने काफी strong word use करके बोला, you are a thief. Okay, because it's like everybody has to cooperatively work, and we saw that how in the nature it's a paraspar sahyog. So we take care of the devtas take care of us. So some of these things work at a very subtle level. So some people might argue, no, it is all my effort, and but if you do a little bit of thinking, you will realize that by yourself we are nothing. We need cooperations of hundreds of people and the nature and everything. That makes us humble. And, so we need that. And then he also said in one of the verses that the person who doesn't do that, paraspar sahyog, and give back in the society or to the nature or in the world or in the family or whatever, then that person is as though just cooking and eating sin. And then we discussed what sin is. Sin is agitations of mind, impurities of mind, and all that, those kind of things. And then the other point is that we discussed that how the universe is one. And when we look outside, it depends on our mindset. Some people see the oneness and unity and harmony. Other people just see chaos and, fighting and all that. So it depends on our mindset. But in Bhagavad Gita, whoever has done other chapters, that chapter 15, Krishna Bhagwan compares this whole cosmos to a tree. He calls it upside down tree. So I don't want to go too much in detail, but the reason I'm bringing that tree, one of the Swamis, brought this up, and it was really so beautiful the way he explained that, like how in a tree, there are many different parts of the tree. There is a trunk, there is, fruits, and there is flowers, and there is leaves. So, but none of them exist by themselves. In a tree, they all are working cooperatively. There's a function of each one. And so it's like one unit. They look totally different. Their functions may be different, but they are working for the common cause to keep the tree healthy and alive and all those things. And in turn, the tree blesses them. So it's like a cooperative thing, So I thought that was really a good analogy to think, how. And then we also discussed that universe, in English language also, it's universe, one verse, not multiverse. So it is like we all are super connected with each other, and that's why we have to work in cooperation. And now, after this background, these two verses come, because now Bhagwan gives another very, very important reason why we should work in the Yagna spirit. Because he talks about the cycle of creation. So these two verses are very, very nice because it teaches us the cycle of creation. And that reminds me that one time Kamala ji had asked that question, hey, where do we get this ability to work? Something like that you had asked. हम जो काम करते हैं, ये करना है मुझे, वो करना है, वो कहाँ से आता है? तो ये वाले 2 verses में थोड़ा सा आंसर मिलेगा हमें कि कहाँ से वो आती है ability. So, and remember, these 2 verses are going to have 2 different meaning. One is going to be the word meaning and kind of the simple meaning, what it says. And the other one is going to be a deep meaning that all the saints and sages, they pull out this. जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि दूध में से मक्खन निकाल के बाहर निकालेंगे वो. So that's what is going to happen, and you will see how beautifully they will bring that out. So now, coming back to, maybe we will just chant the verses, do the Sanskrit part, and then I will go through the verse, bring out points that are not touched upon in the book, but other Swamis brought it out, and then we will read. We will follow that pattern. So here is the verse 14. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavah yagnyat bhavati parjanyah yagna karma samudbhavah karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagni pratishtitam. So annat is food, from food. Bhavanti comes forth. Bhutani, beings. So यहाँ जो संस्कृत में bhoot word bola na, it means hum log. It's not that bhoot like we talk in Hindi, you know. And इसको जो 5 elements है उसको पंच महाभूत बोलते हैं, उससे बना हुआ है हमारा शरीर, इसलिए भूतान. Parjanya, Parjanyat. So Parjanya is the word in Sanskrit for rain. Okay. Atra Sambhavaha, production of food. Anna Sambhava. I need new glasses now. My eyes are getting. Yagnat is from sacrifice. Bhavati arises. Parjanya is rain again. Yagna is again sacrifice. Karma sama udbhavaha, born of action. And the next verse ka Sanskrit hai, karma is action. Brahma udbhavam, arise from Brahman. Vidhi, no. Brahma again is Brahman. Akshara sama udbhavam. Akshara sama udbhavam, arise from the imperishable. We'll go through, more detail about everything. Tasmat is therefore, Sarvagatam is all pervading, Brahma is again Brahman, Nityam, ever, Yagne, in sacrifice, Pratishtitam, established. So, what are they saying over here is talking about the life cycle, right? So, he's saying that firstly, us, it's called Annamaya Kosha, right? Everybody's heard that. We have different sheets, and one is Annamaya Kosha, which is food sheet, means we are made up of food. What we eat, a baby is born, a baby also gets nourishment from the mom only in the womb, and whatever mom eats, the nutrients go, and then baby grows, and then once a baby grows, it needs all food, milk. After that, solid food starts. That's how it grows. Not only just us, every living being, they need food for survival. This is like, no, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that, So food is an absolutely important thing. And so, but where does the food come from? What does food require to grow? Water. Where does the water come from? Rain. For us. We cannot take the samudra ka pani and drink it or do anything. So the nature has to provide actually the rain. Get absorb the water, and the whole cycle. So people come from food. Food comes from rain. Where does the rain come from now? What is the next stage of, So in this verse, if you see on the surface, it's going to say rain comes from Yagna. Okay? Now, in India, because of the Vedic thing and all that, and Kamlaji is sitting over here, and she will agree in this, that there's a whole science behind the Yagnas, what they do. Ahuti vagara dalte. It works in a very subtle way, but the results are that it gives all good benefit. And one of the benefits is that the atmosphere becomes correct for rain. So India में तो आजकल भी करते हैं कि even in today's time, अगर कहीं अकाल वकाल पड़ रहा होगा ना, तो people will start doing yagnas, and they believe, हम चाहे believe करें या नहीं करें, that it does make a difference. That's up to your belief. But यहाँ पर हम लोग deep meaning में भी जाएंगे. What does that mean? So the other way we have to look at it slightly deeper meaning is that we went through in the previous verse, that the householders have certain duties. Remember, I was talking about the 5 yagnas they do because we have 5 deaths. Death is, that I am obliged to do these things because I have taken so much from other people. The devas, the bhutas, the pitrus, like all your ancestors, surroundings, other humans. So then when you give back, by doing certain actions, considering all those debts, when I function in my life and then when I do it, it's called yagnas, that I'm doing in yagna spirit. So when I give back, all this, you can call it good vibration, you can call it whatever, that spreads in the whole universe, reaches the sun, you can say. And in turn, the sun creates this bhap and clouds are formed and the rain falls. So it is like, if you want the nature to work smoothly, you have to do your yagnas and action properly. And even for this concept, we don't need to be a rocket scientist, because everybody knows that when certain natural disasters are happening in today's world, it is caused by the humans. Like, because we didn't do our in Yagna spirit. People got greedy and they didn't care about those industrialists. They didn't care about the environment. They destroyed the ozone layer. They threw trash in the ocean, and then the fishes started dying, and then the cycle got disrupted. So we already know. So here the language is different, but the bhav is the same. The rules are the same. It's like a gravity, the rule of gravity. Whether it was 5 billion years ago or now, rule of gravity has not changed. The same way these things don't change. These are the kind of laws laid at the time of creation only, you can say. So just keep all those aspects in mind, that the rain happens because of the sacrifice of people in the right way. Where does the yagna come from now? So here it says that the yagna comes from karma. Because even physically, if we have to do a yagna, we have to act physically, right? We have to make that little havan kund, and we have to bring the pandit. The pandits have to work hard and things like that. So that's the sequence. That yagna comes from karma, by action. So, and then where does the action come from now? So here it's given the action come from Brahma. So here Brahma ko, one of the saints said it very, very nicely. Consider it Vedas. Because what are Vedas now? Vedas are, we have discussed. Vedas are, firstly look at it like a manual for living. How do I live my life? And like somebody said, जब हम लोग कोई equipment खरीदते हैं ना, तो हम लोग को मालूम नहीं पड़ता कैसे यूज़ करें, तो we need a manual. कि भाई इसको यूज़ करने के लिए, मैं अच्छे से यूज़ करने के लिए ट्रायल एंड एरर तो हम भी कर सकते हैं, बट अगर हम लोग मैनुअल नहीं यूज़ करेंगे तो ट्रायल एंड एरर करना पड़ेगा, गलतियाँ होंगी, फिर हम कुछ गलत भी कर सकते हैं, राइट? हम उसका फुल पोटेंशियल नहीं यूज़ करेंगे अगर हम मैनुअल नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो. अदरवाइज वी से I didn't know I could. It happens to me so many times that I didn't know I can do this with the phone. I don't know I can do this with my computer. So if you actually want to use it perfectly, so you use your manual. Vedas, you can consider them manuals of humanity. So when the earth was, not even earth, cosmos was created, then this is the knowledge of the cosmos. So that's why we say Vedas are eternal. They have not come from a person. Definitely not. Nobody can say this person wrote the Veda. Whenever we say Vedvyas, we always say he compiled it. It is not creation of his mind. So then how does it come? And we have discussed it many times in here. It comes from, it reveals itself. The words are revealed. And who does it get revealed to? People who are pure in their mind. So you can call it higher intelligence or whatever. It comes through you. And there are numerous examples. Somebody was saying that किसी ने बोला तुलसीदास जी ने रामायण रची है, तो तुलसीदास जी ने खुद बोला नो, मैंने कुछ नहीं रचा है, शिव जी ने रचा है और मेरे थ्रू आया है. I am the निमित्त. It has come through me and it's not my doing. So he does not take credit for it. And in the modern world, everybody's heard of Ramana Maharishi, right? So Ramana Maharishi left home when he was 11 years, or I don't remember exactly, 13, 14. He didn't go to a formal schooling and all that, anything. But he has written Sanskrit verses called Updesh Sar, it's called. And I think that Meenaji is checking, because in Chinmaya Mission we use that, and we did a study group on Updesh Sar too. They are the most beautiful Vedanta in simple language, and they're a compilation of verses. And the story goes that he used to go and do the parikrama of the Arunachal mountain. And one day somebody told him to write something. So in that circle when he was doing, this thing came to him and it came out. He'd never got a formal education. He'd never studied Sanskrit formally, but it is in perfect, like this Bhagavad Gita का ऐसे song है ना, वैसे उसको गाया भी जा सकता है. So this is a modern age, what you call, प्रमाण है उसका मतलब, evidence है कि ऐसा हो सकता है. Okay? So that's what Vedas. So Vedas में, what is in Vedas, in very simply put, that knowledge of the world, कि भाई world है क्या, creation and all that, and then knowledge of that highest means Bhagwan, or you can call it truth, substratum, Brahman, and then how to get there. So the path of liberation, and then different lokas, and you can go on expanding. So there are all these things come. So when it comes to humans, मैं ये करूं या ना करूं, अगर confusion है, Vedas can guide you. That's why they're saying karma comes from there. Because if we start doing it on our own, it will be a disaster. Okay? So even like a small child, the parents have to teach, certain things, that do this, not do this. So you can just see that humans need to learn. There are other creatures, it naturally comes to them, certain things. Not certain things, everything if you think about it. But humans, since we have intelligence, they have to be guided constantly, or we have to guide ourselves. So now let's see the sequence again. Let's go reverse. No, not yet, sorry. So now Vedas. So where did the Vedas come from? It's coming from that Akshara Brahma. The Akshara is the word. Everybody has heard the word Akshara, right? किसको बोलते हैं अक्षर? इस words को बोलते हैं ना अक्षर. क ख ग ग को अक्षर बोलते हैं. And the other meaning है, और ये क ख ग में भी वो meaning आता है. The one that never decays. Akshara means to decay or to change or something like that. Akshara means the one, something that does not, क्षरा जिसका नहीं होता है, जो क्षय नहीं होता है, जो खत्म नहीं होता है, जो change नहीं होता है, that becomes akshara. Okay? So the Vedas are coming from that Akshara Brahma, because that Akshara Brahma has revealed, that higher intelligence revealed something to a pure mind. So वो Vedas बन गए. वेदा में कर्मों का सब कुछ लेखा जोखा है कि कैसे करना चाहिए, तो वहाँ से सीखा हमने. फिर कर्म से यज्ञ आ गया. ओके, यज्ञ भावना. यज्ञ से रेन मीन्स वाटर से फूड से हम. ओके, दैट इज द सीक्वेंस. सो दैट्स व्हाट दिस इज गोइंग टू से. सो now the question is that if we don't follow the Vedas, we do many mistakes. Okay, and who can write the Vedas, or bolna chahiye, who can reveal the Vedas? Even if we logically think that what are the good karmas, bad karma, I have to know the whole picture. Then only I can say, okay, ki bhai this is a good karma or not good karma, because you have to know the past, current and future भी क्या होगा. The whole knowledge somebody needs to know. Only that person can make this judgment कि ये कौन सा काम अच्छा है और नहीं है. हमारे में वो capacity नहीं है. We are so limited. So in our arrogance we might think I know everything. No. And that's why all the saints and sages, they always say शास्त्र प्रमाण लेके आओ कि ये सही है कि नहीं. Shastra Praman lekhe, and they will bow down to the Shastras and say, yes, if they are saying it, then it is true. If somebody else is just making it up, they're not going to believe that. That depends on your Shraddha now. So because you see in the medical world also, because, I'm kind of in association through my husband, they always keep changing. पहले बोलेंगे ये खाओ बहुत अच्छा है, फिर 6 महीने के बाद बोलेंगे नहीं इससे नुकसान होता है, दूसरा कुछ खाओ. दवाइयाँ भी ऐसी चेंज होती रहती है, because we do not have the better picture. हम लोग को अपने शरीर के बारे में नहीं मालूम है. So complicated. And my husband, he's in the science field for so long. He's even retired now from science. Not really, he's not retired from science, but from his work. But he says, जितना हम जानते हैं, जानना चाहते हैं, उतना लगता है हमको कुछ नहीं आता. इतना complicated है. So who can guide us? Vedas can guide us about the basic things. Okay, because we don't have that picture, and this is, I was just giving an evidence कि भाई क्या सब कुछ change होता रहता है. आज सुबह भी Joe was saying before the class कि they are saying कि 6 feet वालों को ज़्यादा होता है or something. कोविड ऐसे एवं ही कुछ भी बोलते हैं लोग, अभी बाद में बोलेंगे बौने लोगों को ज़्यादा होता है. I mean, we don't know. So to come back to it, Vedas are the one that guide us, and Vedas have come from that Akshara Brahma. That's why we need to give more importance to it, because we are not capable. That's the point I was trying to make in this thing. So now I already went through the sequence. So what it is that this Yagna spirit actually drives the Srishti Chakra. That's what in these 2 verses is revealed, because that I gave you the cycle, it drives that. So we have to become the part of this wheel in a correct manner. That's what it is going to say. So now let's see the modern context now, because this was like a context. Did everybody understood this cycle? Doesn't anybody have any question in this cycle that we talked about? No? Okay. So what is the modern context? So let's think about the modern way. Modern people will say, I want to find out how the universe was created. So then they have these telescopes and whatever, and they go back in time. Because I watch those shows, so I kind of know a little bit what they're talking about. So they say, okay, because the more further you see in our universe, you find out you have gone back in time. Okay, so they have some way to calculate all that. So they have come up with this theory of Big Bang, right? Everybody's heard of that Big Bang theory. So what is that theory? Right now, they said the galaxies are running apart from each other. They're running away from each other. But their time comes when they start coming closer. So they also believe it's a cycle, that it goes out and then it comes back. And so at the beginning of the universe, they call it singularity. One point. There is no different dimensions in there. And then there's a bang, and they call it Big Bang, but you're not talking about some big blast happen, nothing like that. But basically it just split, okay? So from there, the time starts, space started, okay? They call it, different matter came into existence, and then stars are formed, and in the beginning there is like helium and hydrogen and all that lighter elements, and then the stars are formed with heavier metals. That's how we are formed, like that. But if you just get stuck at the matter, it doesn't mean anything. If the humans are not there in their consciousness to recognize it, what does it matter then? So coming back to consciousness, now they are recognizing that there is something beyond matter, and which is a consciousness, and the matter is secondary, dependent on the consciousness. And consciousness is primary. From consciousness, matter comes. Okay? So this is the modern theory, And then, so we have concluded that consciousness is subtler than matter, and it is like a substratum of matter. Because even in our Vedanta, they call it, the substratum is consciousness, and that's how everything comes. So both the theories now are kind of coming close to each other, And then, but what is that consciousness? We have learned that is our own Atma. So it is within us only, that consciousness. And from that consciousness, you can call it cosmic intelligence is born. What we call the higher intelligence or cosmic intelligence. Because there is a rhythm and harmony in the whole universe. Even the matter, how it behaves, there is some laws are laid down. So you can call it comes from that substratum, the consciousness, this cosmic intelligence. And in Vedanta, it is called Hiranyagarbha or Brahmaji. You have seen that Brahmaji ka concept is that he has this intelligence, but he also has to do tapas and all. We won't get into all that. but creator bolo, Brahmaji bolo, Hiranyagarbha bolo, ya cosmic intelligence in our modern language. And to give the analogy, even us, when we go in that deep sleep, that we have the intelligence which becomes like a seed form. It's there. And then we are doing nothing, it's just there, that's it. As though हिंदी में बोलेंगे कि भाई हम जब डीप स्लीप में जाते हैं तो जैसे वी एग्जिस्ट विद इन ourselves, हम अपने आप में ही समा जाते हैं. ओके, वन पोएटिक वे ऑफ सेइंग बट इट टेल्स यू द होल प्रोसेस. तो हम अपने आप में समा गए. फिर जब हम उठे, then that intelligence wakes up, right? We recognize ourselves and recognize the world, both. Same way, think about it, the Brahmaji, that he's in this, beach form में है, मगर when Brahmaji wakes up, then he recognizes the world, recognizes himself. And he's the one who becomes the creator. That cosmic intelligence starts the wheel of the world. That way you can say. And so this ability to act, हमारे में जो शक्ति है ना काम करने की, वो उस cosmic intelligence से आई है. Because when you see in the world, even the matter has a cosmic intelligence. That's why it acts in a certain way. So, it is bound by that law. And when you expand that law to, alive things, then again, it's governed by these cosmic laws. And that's where the ability to action comes in. And then, we have to look at the ability to act as a gift from God. Very simply put, So where did I get the ability to work? It came from above, so you can call it gift from God. And because of this ability to work, we evolve. That's why when I was talking about that the wheel of the universe moves, is because of that ability to act. That's how it works, okay? So what kind of abilities the humans have? We have physical ability, mental ability, we have ability to speak, intellectual ability. All that is coming from that cosmic intelligence through us. That's why we have all this. So now we talked about कि in that cycle, वेदों से हमने सीखा कैसे काम करना, फिर हमने काम करना शुरू किया. तो हर एक काम यज्ञ नहीं है. Okay, that is one of the very important thing. It is some sublime act or some little deeper. So if you take all the karmas, you can separate कि भाई ये वाले कर्म यज्ञ कर्म है, because उसके पीछे भाव क्या है. Do you have the भाव of serving people? You have a higher altar. You have you sacrifice something, then it becomes a yagna. Ordinary, we know that sometime ordinary कर्म अगर वो यज्ञ spirit में ना हो, बाधा बन जाते हैं wheel में, progress में बाधा बन जाते हैं. And also that's where we have to kind of remember. And remember the two elements of yagna spirit or yagna bhavna is sacrifice and dedication. So I should be willing to give up something, and it can be anything like we discussed. Everybody can contribute something. Somebody can say, I'm totally sick, I can't move, I have all these problems. Then you can pray, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. That is giving contribution, because you are creating a bhav you're creating vibration, good vibration. It's a huge thing. So everybody has to, should get out of this. And spiritually speaking, what happens when we act in the yagna bhavna? So physically world, okay, chakra chal raha hai, and it's moving, it's like tum apna yogdan de rahe ho. Spiritually, if we get yagna bhavna and we work in that, we transcend our limitations. We can do a lot more work. We can make difference in a lot of people's lives, because you are getting out of the selfish. And even in the world, if you see how the progress is made, suppose there is a factory and there are all workers over there, and one worker starts shining He start thinking about other people, he start understanding how everything works, then he gets promoted to a supervisor. फिर वहाँ भी उसने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, then he becomes a manager. One day, who knows, he might become an owner. So how he's transcending his limitations बोल दिया ना, because पहले वो worker ही था, by working in Yagna spirit, by thinking about higher and higher and all that. And the highest is, of course, you can reach, Brahma, but just from worldly sense also that we can see. So now, one very important thing that Swamiji brings, and in Chinmaya Mission we are taught about this, that when we talk about rain, it's extremely symbolic. So rain is, on one hand, it's like when we think of rain, it's just water, okay, water se anna bana, anna se hum bane, वगैरह वगैरह. मगर जैसे हम लोग वो जब फसल उगती है ना, उसको हम बोलते हैं the products have come. What Swamiji explained, that every kind of production is a kind of rain only. Okay, so rain is symbolic of something coming out, and you can let me give you an example. That I think I have talked about this in some other context in the same thing. Certain areas in the world have a conducive environment for certain kind of industries. Like Mumbai is a financial center and the film industry. How did it become like that? Because a lot of people, like-minded people, came there, started doing the trade and things like that, did in Yagna spirit so much that huge production happened of finances or film industry, entertainment. Lot of like-minded people came, creativity happens, and then it attracts more people. People work really hard and all that. It rains entertainment there. In what you call Silicon Valley, it rains IT, because so rain is nothing but a productive potential which comes out with everybody's hard work. And then in this world, we all require products to live on. We know that. And so when we say food in this verse, it is not just khane wala food or annamay kosh. Deeper meaning is every kind of thing that we require in this world is called food. And, a spiritual person will need spiritual food. Like we need this class and things like that. And, किसी को कुछ जानवरों को भी food चाहिए, मगर different kind of food चाहिए. Then, dogs also need some love and some, toys to play with. If you give a cell phone to a dog, he's not going to appreciate that at all. But these days, the children want that. So everybody needs this food, and it is created by cooperative work. So just to bring it in the modern context. So let me see which point. So we need required food for mind, body, intellect, and all those things. And but we have to have, for our spiritual growth, we need to do in the Yagna spirit in such a way that we come out of our selfishness. If you want to go to spiritual path or the worldly path, same Yagna spirit, the goals might be different. So the Yagna spirit actually can take you to the highest, or below the highest is, doing good for the society. And that's also very good. You start from there. But what I'm trying to get at, working in the Yagna spirit can take you to the highest. And that's what, Bhagavad Gita is talking about. That and the final conclusion of this verse is that the entire life cycle rests in Yagna spirit only. So uska wo crux bol do. The whole life cycle ka crux is Yagna spirit. Okay, and just to make it simpler now for ourselves and come back to our goal over here, through Yagna spirit we purify our mind. That purity of mind will recognize the Brahma or the highest. And so I think somebody's thing got unmuted again. So that Yagna attitude will. So if I start from, say, worldly Yagna also. Suppose if I don't know how to go this high-fi. If I start from the worldly perspective, it will slowly get more and more subtle and sublime. And if I continue with it, it will take me there. Okay? And, in Chinmaya Mission, we do a arti. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. Meena ji, do you know this arti? And even Kamla ji might know this. Is a Vedic arti, they call it. Vedic
yes.
arti, हाँ. So उसका meaning है कि भाई so it's like na karmanana prajya dhanena tyage neke amrutatva manashu. So it's like you cannot get the highest by just working or by wealth or by people. It can only happen by tyaga, means it by sacrifice. So again, the yagna's bhavna comes in. Unless you are ready to sacrifice, you're not going to get the highest. So even the Vedas say that the same thing. Okay, so and in the final analysis, it's like I start with what do I sacrifice. So first I dedicate my actions to Lord. Remember, we talked about very early in the Karma Yoga that you do dedicate everything to the highest, and then it becomes Karma Yoga. So I'm dedicating my action to Lord, and then I'm also dedicating the fruit of the action to Lord. Remember we said that don't prasad buddhi and all that. So fruits also I give up to Lord, and in the end मैं खुद को ही समर्पित कर देती हूँ. That is the highest yagna, when I gave complete myself only to Lord. And I think that in some of the what you call line of bhakti vagara, they call it atma nivedan. There are different bhaktis, So, and this is the stage when you yourself give to the highest. It's like a drop is becoming the ocean. That's that thing over here. The drop becomes the ocean, and then you attain the highest. Okay. So, in these two verses, all this is in there. You can see it's loaded with everything. And so basically, what is the conclusion? The whole universe rests in yagna. We should be working in yagna spirit, and through this, we get to the highest. That's what it is. Okay. So, any question or comment? So many things that I said. And then we can start reading now. If anybody has any question, you can say it. You can raise your hand like this if you want.
I just remembered the song of SRF. So do thou, my Lord, thou and I never apart. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. I am the bubble, make me the sea. So that was the
very beautiful. Yes, true. See how whatever we have learned, it comes together. Okay, so who is my volunteer today to read Swamiji's?
Okay, I also want to say something.
Yes, sure.
In this, what you said, everything is all resonant and all that. So here they say that the first is the Anand Kosha, that is made from the thing. The second one is the rain, and rain here is the liquid flowing or the vibration, and that is the that's also referred the astral energy that is flowing in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we die also, and that astral energy again becomes a karma.
Mm-hmm.
So when we die also, again the astral energy is going back into the God. So that's how also the cycle of birth and rebirth is also explained properly here.
Nice. So you can see that these verses can fit in the life cycle for many different angles.
Yeah.
From the yogic side, from everything, it's a harmony. You can take the same things, and that's why when we read that the paths, you will see that how Swamiji explained it so nicely about different paths. Okay.
Yeah, so they're saying this cosmic energy actually produces two things, light and sound. So light is, of course, the astral energy, and sound is the word Om.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's good we are
Yeah.
learning everything now.
So that's a cosmic intelligence, you can call it, in these two different ways it comes. Yes. Okay. So who's the reader today? Who did not read last time should read it today. Shireen, you want to read? You have to unmute.
14 and 15.
Yeah.
So from food come forth beings. From rain, food is produced. From sacrifice arises rain, and sacrifice is born of action. Should I read the 15 also?
Yeah, because I think now I have given you a very detailed one. And
Okay.
once you read the 15, I will repeat the whole cycle one more time. Yeah.
Know you that actions comes from Brahmaji, the creator, Brahmaji. And Brahmaji comes
Your voice broke up.
in, therefore the principle ever rests in sacrifice. The cosmic wheel of
Yeah, just one
cooperative-
second. Before you go further, I will just remind the cycle just one more time so that it becomes... So it is the imperishable or the substratum, then Brahmaji, and you can call it Vedas or Brahmaji. And from that comes, the karma. From karma comes the Yagna. Yagna comes the rain. Rain comes the food. Food comes people. Okay. And one more thing. You have that big fat book, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
so that won't work. I think that